Bruce Wayne.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Cue It Up with the Q Brothers. I am John Quattrucci.
And I'm Ralph Quattrucci.
Hey, Ralph, get in the spirit of it, will you please? Will you get in the spirit of it?
I'm in.
You wearing the shirt?
I'm Ralph
it.
Quattrucci. Yeah, I got the shirt on.
We have a special guest today. We have Ralph's young son,
Youngest.
Rafael.
Yes,
Say hi, Rafael.
The son of Ralph Quattrucci.
That's right. Now, can I call you Ralph, or have I got to call you Rafael? It's up to you. I don't care.
You can call me whatever. I don't really mind.
Okay. All right, Tony. So today, obviously, we're talking about the Batman.
Oh,
Wait, did I emote too much, Ralph?
it seems
That's
a
not
little,
how Robert Pattinson played it. I should
seems a little
probably.
heavy.
What do you
He's a
think?
reclusive rock star.
He's a
Remember that.
reclusive rock star with a haircut. So,
Remember that.
okay, so here's what I'd like to do. I want to talk about. It feels kind of weird wearing this mask.
Really?
While I'm doing this.
Really? You think it's
What?
weird?
No, I don't think it's weird. I think it's no less weird than your Freddie Mercury outfit. But anyway, here's what I'd like to do. I'd like to do like the first part of this with no spoilers. Okay. Then I'm going to tell everyone we're going to do spoilers, and then we'll talk about some of the spoilers. We'll give them a chance to get out of it if they haven't seen it yet. Okay. And then we'll do a little stream quest. How's that sound, Raph?
That sounds good. Okay. I can do that.
So we're here to talk about the Batman, directed by Matt Reeves, starring Robert Pattinson, Zoe Kravitz. Who else is in it? Colin Farrell.
Who plays Gordon?
Ralph.
Jeffrey Wright.
What?
Jeffrey
Jeffrey
Wright.
Wright plays Commissioner Gordon. Yep.
Yeah, Colin Farrell, unrecognizable Colin Farrell.
Yes, John Turturro plays Carmine Falcone.
Yeah.
Good cast. So, Ralph, I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions about the film before we start. Okay.
All right.
I got to take this off. I feel like I'm
come
wearing
on.
a pumpkin on my head.
Oh,
Okay.
no, keep it on.
I might put it back on. Okay, Ralph, first question. Have you seen Batman 1989 with Michael Keaton?
I have not. I know a few parts of it though. Like I know a little
Okay,
bit.
so you have not seen that. Have you seen the Nolan trilogy?
Yes. I actually watched
Okay,
it the
so-
other day, like a few days ago.
Okay, beautiful. So first, I want you to give me your first impression of the movie. Just tell me what you thought about it. Tell me, don't give away anything, because here's what we're going to do. I'm letting my audience know. First half, no
My
spoilers.
audience?
Second half, well, on this show, my audience.
Okay.
Like the other show is your audience.
Okay.
First half will be no spoilers. Second half will be spoilers
I
for
can-
those who haven't seen it. So, Raph,
Wait a
just
minute.
give me a break.
Bruce
Yeah.
Wayne is Batman. Is that a spoiler?
It is.
Damn it. Sorry. Oops.
Well, in this movie, was there really a difference
Okay.
between Bruce Wayne and Batman? I
This
don't
is
know.
This is year
Ralph-
two. This is year two Batman. He hasn't really
This is
learned.
year two Batman. Well,
Okay.
let me frame this up a little bit for the audience who have not seen it.
Your audience.
Ralph knows and Raph knows that I'm a big comic book fan, obviously. Batman, I don't put him at the very top. I put Superman at the top, but I'm a huge Batman fan, and especially the graphic novels. And this movie is really based on a couple of different graphic novels. Batman Year One, Batman Year Two, No Man's Land, and Hush. And so it's very gritty. It's year two of Batman, so he's relatively new. The good thing about this movie, they didn't redo the origin story that we've seen a million times. It just presupposes Batman's there. Okay, from there, Raph, I want just tell me your thoughts about the movie. What'd you think?
I mean, I thought it was a good movie. So I like the Christopher Nolan ones way better. Personally, I do like a lot of the aspects of the movie. It's very dark, which is like kind of Batman's thing.
Do you mean dark in tone or just literally dark?
Like literally dark. It was hard to see like half the movie. I'm gonna be honest. Dark in tone. Yes, it was dark in tone. Also, I like that part.
Sins of the Father. I thought that was kind of cool, but yeah.
Yeah, I do like what they do with the movie though. Like where they take it.
Well, tell me. Okay, tell me why. What did you like specifically that they did? Well, give me some of the highlights that you really liked, without giving the spoilers away.
So I mean, I liked how first of all, I liked there was no origin story. I like that because I'm not trying to see that again.
Right.
But they don't play in like the fact that like, I mean, he's already in year two, so he's already kind of like he's already experienced. I also like it's more realistic than the other Batman movies, or like
More grounded.
Yeah, it's more grounded in reality. More as like, it's just him as like, I mean, he is a billionaire, but he doesn't really use it to his advantage as much as Christian Bale did.
Well, again, he's learning. Well, we'll talk about how the movie, his progression in this film that will lead to that eventually. But
I mean, he's learning it, but he's in year 2 while Christian Bale was flying around like first week of Batman. So
you're right about that. This Batman struggles.
Yeah.
In fact, when he leapt off the roof in that one scene, he was pretty scared. Which they never played that in the Nolan movies, right? Which I thought was an interesting choice.
We drop into the Nolan films. Like, this is the first time I've perceived, because I didn't read the comics, right? The year 1, year 2, whatever those are. So if we're talking about that, what year do we drop in the Nolan films? How long has Batman been Batman in those films?
Year 1.
Well, in the first movie, he's not Batman yet, right?
He becomes Batman in that film.
He becomes Batman in the first movie. It was the second movie that he really started using all the tech.
But in the first one, is he still the swinging billionaire guy?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that's what this one flipped a little bit.
The first one's more Bruce Wayne. I feel like it's not Batman yet.
You're talking about the first Nolan movie, right?
Yeah, first Nolan movie.
The one thing about this movie, you do not see Bruce Wayne very much.
Yeah.
He's in that Batman costume probably 80% of the movie.
Do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that was very different from the Nolan movies, because I think Nolan knew he was going to make 3 movies, and they know that now. This Matt Reeves is going to make 3 of these. So I don't think they knew that in the beginning, because they weren't quite sure. The studios let him do what he wanted to do, but they weren't sure where it was going to go. Obviously, with the box office, it's doing really, really well. What else did you like about it?
I mean, okay, I liked so I think they teased in the spoiler or the trailer a little bit. I like the fighting, so I just like, I don't know, I like the choreography. I like that a lot. A lot of the fighting was good.
It was very brutal.
Yeah. Also,
well, he's using the suit. That suit became in this one. Well, the weight of that suit is obvious.
Yeah.
I mean, Ben Affleck did it in his Justice League. I mean, I think he was using that physicality of the suit. But this one, I really felt it, even the way he walks out of the darkness and he's heavy-footed.
Well, that's very different from the other movies, too, is you hear his footsteps before you ever see him. Yeah. And he always comes out of a shadow.
Yeah.
Which was different from the other movies. I like that. I like that a lot. The costume, I liked the costume. I still think the Keaton costume is the best costume.
I like the costume.
Yeah, but my only issue with the costume is, what the hell is it made out of, that all those shots that he was taking? I mean, some of those were at point blank range, and he still gets up. That was kind of curious, because it was light enough for him to move in it, right? Unlike the Affleck costume, that thing was really bulky, and you could tell how that was armored up. So, okay, what else, Raph? I like what I'm hearing so far.
I like Catwoman. She was played well.
Zoe Kravitz.
Yeah, she was played well.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, the whole mob underworld, they really take it into in like the Christian Bale ones, there was a little bit of they talk about it, but this one is really full. He goes all in.
No, this is about the underground of Gotham City.
Yeah, I like that.
This movie was all about that. You're right.
Yeah,
and I like that too. It very seedy. It fit. I mean, Gotham. I mean, there were issues I had with how dark it was, literally and tonally. Yeah. But Gotham ended up being like a third character in the movie, including the underground. That was stuff we hadn't seen before, and we saw Carmine Falcone in the Nolan one. But nothing like this. I mean, especially with the Penguin, who I really liked. But that was good. Yeah. Now let me ask you this. I'm going to ask you some questions. Maybe that'll steer this a little bit.
All right.
What'd you think about the length of the movie?
I mean, I thought it was good. I thought it was perfect. It worked.
You thought there was it was perfect, just long enough.
I think they used their time well for it being how long it was. They paced it out pretty well. I mean, I don't. There wasn't like a moment where I was really just I was bored. There wasn't really a moment where I was bored, with the movie. It kept me engaged, is what I'm trying to say.
Ralph, how about you? What'd you think about the length?
It didn't bother me. I thought it moved pretty well. I wasn't looking at my watch going, oh, when is this thing? It did have kind of the two endings. I mean, it did felt like it was over, and then it did another thing.
The tacked on ending.
Yeah. But I didn't feel like it was. I knew it was long going in, but I didn't feel it really. So I was engaged in that portion, yeah. What about
Yeah,
you? I guess you didn't.
I thought if they
long?
cut out the last 40 minutes, it would have been a much better.
Yeah, a lot of
film.
people are saying 20, 30 minutes.
The
out
ending
of it.
was the ending. I did not like the ending at all. I thought it was.
You're talking about the
in the auditorium.
the disaster footage.
It was
the
a
disaster movie.
It was terrible.
There's a shot that they do from above.
Yeah.
Where he's walking all the people through that red shot. It's just
there were things in it that I liked.
Yeah.
It was unnecessary.
Yeah, I want to go through. I want to go through likes and dislikes, but
if they ended it about 40 minutes earlier, I think it would have been a much better film. I really do. It doesn't mean I didn't like elements of that entire scene.
Yeah,
I did, but it was stupid. And the stuff in Arkham too that they tacked on. We'll get in that in the spoiler section. That was just. That's another studio tack on thing. There's no way they wanted to do that for real.
Yeah.
Okay, so the length didn't bother you. You both felt it was dark, right? I mean, film dark.
Yeah. Well, they talk about Gordon Willis being the Prince of Darkness. You know, Gordon Willis shot The Godfather. All I can say is I thought it was the movie theater I was at was slightly dull because I couldn't see anything. Now I know it's all shot in rain and dark, and I was waiting for some sunlight in this film, anything. So even when a motorcycle light came on, I'm like, oh my God, finally some light. But even that's subdued. And I've seen clips of it on YouTube, digitally basically. And you can see things that are going on in that. I think if you shrink it down and maybe look on a smaller screen, actually helps see things better. But it also played up the whole, I like this part, Batman waiting in the darkness.
Right.
And the fact that when the criminals see the bat signal, that he can be anywhere, so he's basically everywhere because nobody knows when. And that one scene where that spray can rolls into the, I mean, there's some cool stuff going on there. But I just felt like, oh my God, turn a light on. The Nolan films, what I loved about those is the first in the Dark Knight in particular, or the second one with the Joker. Is that the Dark Knight?
Yes.
Right. So they do the bank robbery scene in the morning, fully lit, everything. And then he blows up the hospital, full daylight, right? You're seeing everything. And I appreciate that. This one, I get the tone they were going for. They were definitely going for a Fincher 7 tone, or at least that's the way it looked, including the Riddler, right? Who basically was playing Zodiac, right down to the ciphers. I like dark tones in movies like that, obviously. But I just felt like, oh my God, turn a light on somewhere. Even the scenes of Catwoman and Batman in the sunlight, it's like still dark.
They're almost in silhouette.
Silhouette the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a conscious choice that Matt Reeves made. He wanted it to be like that because Batman's a creature of the night. And if you look at the Nolan films, I think the only time he came out in daylight out of the 3 movies was in the last one when he fought Bane on the steps when all the crowd. Yeah, but every other shot was at night, but it was still more lit than this.
Yeah. Well, you had the rain and all that. I mean, it's all part of it.
To your point, there were scenes in Batman, the Nolan series, that Batman wasn't a part of that was in sunlight, or Bruce Wayne was in the sunlight too. But he, this was his choice. He wanted it to be dark. He wanted it to be gritty. He definitely wanted it to be 7. Oh, and it does harken back to early Batman. I mean, like we're talking the 30s and early 40s. And he was definitely going for that aesthetic. But yeah, I found that there were times when you just couldn't see what the hell was going on. And I was like, and when there was one point you talked about the motorcycle. I think the motorcycle headlight went right into the camera and it kind of like flashed you because it was such, it's been so dark for so long. All of a sudden you see this big flash.
Well, even when they're, this whole Batman's supposed to be a detective, right? That's from the comic book, from those comic books. And even when they're doing the investigations in whatever room or building they're in, nobody's turning a light on in there, and they're investigating a crime. It's like, okay, I get it. Could we just please someone hit a light switch somewhere and turn something on?
Like when they're taking photos, the only light you get is from the camera flashes. So
I mean, look, I complain about that, but the use of red light and the use of the way they shot the Riddler. That very first scene where you think you're looking through Batman stuff, that's what I thought. And then it turns out to be Paul Dano, by the way, who's great in this film. I mean, he's unbelievable. I thought he was terrific. In his the 2 scenes he did where he's physically in the screen, not in the costume.
When he went a little off the rails at the end there in the interrogation.
So good.
Yeah.
He's that guy is an amazing actor. So yeah, the cinematography a little dark.
It was
The New
shot beautifully. I mean, it was shot beautifully.
I'm complaining about not being, and that just be my age. I don't know. And I swear the theater I was at.
No, because if you look at, I've been reading all the reviews on it, for just not just online, but friends who I know like these kind of movies. They all said the same thing too. It was just too dark. And maybe what they'll do is maybe they're setting up the second one because he goes through a character arc. Robert Pattinson, not much of a character arc, but he does go through one. Because that was one of the things I found a little jarring. There were 2 scenes in particular, because Batman's always kind of a loner, right? And you think of him with Gordon because he's the only one he trusts. Well, at one point he's in the police station with 20 cops around him, and then at the end, in the daylight, he's helping all these people after the big flood. And it was just weird to see him outside during the day with all these people. You don't generally see that,
especially with like the Coast Guard, like.
Well, yeah, it was kind of like that, but it was weird. It was weird, but that was to show his transition to not be quite as the.
Well, that's
Knight.
that whole. We should get okay, because there's a reason for that stuff. In the spoilers, we can talk about but.
Well, I also think he uses like I guess his status as Batman, like when the first scene, like when he's going through the crime scene, all the cops are like scared. I was still scared by him after 2 years,
right.
And then towards the end, it's like.
That one cop who just somehow managed to say something that triggered the whole. He figured it out with that one thing. Remember at the end when that guy who was in the dark, he was in that room in the dark.
Which also same cop throughout the entire movie. Like that's the guy. That's
yeah. So okay, so overall,
well, they didn't like him because he's a vigilante. It's always the case.
That's right. And they didn't think it was his place. He's not a cop.
Yeah.
But Gordon trusted him, and he trusts Gordon and nobody else. But it was just weird. I mean, it was weird to see him with all those people. You just don't generally see that in a Batman comic or a Batman movie. It's not that I didn't like it. It was different, which is okay. I'm trying to think what else. Zoe Kravitz.
Did you think the use of the tech? There was some new tech that we haven't seen a little bit. Now the Batmobile was different.
Just the Batmobile was just a muscle car.
It's Charger, which is great. But like when he sends Catwoman into the bar or into the club, with the
cameras,
contact camera thing.
Yeah,
I thought that was
cool.
That's a pretty interesting way to do that, and that brings in Peter Sarsgaard, who I thought was fantastic. Yeah, as the DA who ends up in the church.
Okay, spoilers alert. No spoilers. But yeah, what I liked about that too, because again, you already brought this up, Ralph. I mean, Batman's considered the world's greatest detective.
Right.
And the one thing he hasn't done in any of these movies is be a detective, really. Yeah. Well, the first half of this movie, if not more, he's a detective, and it's a detective story, and he's trying to figure things out. In fact, in the scenes where Selena Kyle's wearing the contact lenses with the cameras, he's taking notes. He's got a journal. So it's a really good detective story too, which I
just wish he went. Could someone just turn a light on, please? I need to take a look at the floor.
No, yeah, that's not the voice he used, Ralph. Okay. He wasn't that deep.
That's what I heard. I heard that.
Yeah, no.
He's up here.
He was more like, yeah, you're right.
Okay.
And then as Bruce Wayne, he'd go,
yeah, you're right.
It was awesome. I mean, you couldn't even tell. The voices were so different, right, Raph?
They're completely different.
Seems like that's a negative for you. I don't know.
The three scenes that he was as Bruce Wayne.
Say that again.
The 3 or 4 scenes that he was Bruce Wayne. It was pretty good. I mean,
I get where they were going with it, right? Because he's tortured, right?
Yeah.
He's I mean, they're implying that he's obviously completely obsessed. In fact, in his journal, he doesn't even know what day it is unless he looks at his journal, because he's out there every night. And they've got the narration at the beginning, and that's something directly out of Batman Year One, where Batman narrates it. So I appreciated that. I would have liked to have seen a little bit of contrast between the two. And I mean, they stood the same way, they moped the same way, they emoted the same way, and it's like just a little. It doesn't have to be like I thought Christian out of all the Batmen, I think Christian Bale did the best job of that, right? Because he played up the billionaire playboy.
Yeah, I think he did that. I mean, the only reason he played it like that, I mean, I guess, was to not arouse suspicion because he played it like when he was
That's
Bruce
exactly
Wayne,
why.
he was a dick.
Well,
Worth.
he was playing off like this guy couldn't be Batman
Yeah.
because he's so.
Hey, Rafael,
you know,
this is a clean show. I just
Oh, my bad.
no. Ralph, listen, your father will start f-bombing.
I'm so proud of him. I'm so proud of you. No,
Yeah,
I'm proud of you.
You should
That was
be.
good.
You should be. But I think I again, that was a choice of the actor and the director, Matt Reeves. Liked that choice. I wasn't crazy about it. Now maybe they change it in the next one because he's going to be around a little bit longer. Although if the sequel has to do with the ending, it's going to have to deal with what happens at the end, which is another graphic novel. So again, we won't mention that in the spoilers. Ralph, overall, what did you think about the movie? I know you've said some things, but just give me an overall take on it.
Like a rating. I mean, overall, I think it's a good film. I think it's one to be seen. I'm like,
because you're not a fan of the genre.
I'm not a fan of most comic book movies, but for
Right.
some reason, Batman is always like. I took Leo to the when the final Batman film came out. We did a 6-hour marathon.
Oh, you watched all of them.
all three of them at a movie theater.
Really?
Yeah. So Batman, it was the night those people got shot in Denver. It was that same night because that's the night it premiered, which was a freaky thing. But, and of course, we grew up watching the Batman that he's wearing, right? Adam West Batman.
Yeah.
Which is, tongue in cheek and all that. And then, you think about the revelation that Michael Keaton's Batman was, like that they actually pulled it off, and in a good way. It was a really well done film. So was I a huge fan of? I liked the middle Nolan, The Dark Knight,
With Heath Ledger.
was just an amazing film. Okay,
Yeah.
so I wanted to see this one. I'm not into the comic books, at all. And I think Robert Pattinson is an interesting enough actor that I thought he would give a good shot at this. And Reeves is a really good director. He revamped the Ape movies and all that stuff. So I'm giving them a shot at it. And frankly, when we get into spoilers, I want to talk about the themes because I think that's what makes this movie way more interesting than the other ones. It's just some of the stuff below the surface that they were going after here. So in that sense, I think I'm positive on it. I like the film. Just way too dark. I didn't feel like it was too long because I enjoyed it, but I just couldn't see anything, and I think that's a little frustrating. And then you get into the stories about, the Penguin character is so great. Colin Farrell, you don't even know it's Colin Farrell, which is an amazing
I said
thing.
that. I go, if you didn't know he played the part, you would not know who that actor was.
Yeah, but it sounds
He was
like
that good.
things happen in this film because he's doing a series. They're doing a series on HBO Max. Because
Yeah.
that car chase scene that they have, first of all, nobody should have lived. Especially him with the way his car flipped around and all that. But, he had to live because they're doing the series. But again, that's a character that if they flesh out, it might be good. And I think the Riddler, this is up there, I think, with Heath Ledger's Joker. I just think the way Dano... that's a big
don't
leap.
see
I
that.
know that. But I just found him... Because again, I'm a big Zodiac fan.
They tried to make him like the Heath Ledger character. I mean, they definitely tried to do that because it's so different from the Riddler, from any version of the Riddler.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
So
this
that's why I
movie is
think-
like Batman doesn't kill, but like in this movie, I guess that car chase. I mean, the deaths might have not been his fault because the Penguin, what he did, but also like in the Christian Bale one, he was flipping cars, he did not care who, he was crushing cars with the tumbler, like he was definitely killing people. As
how do they say Batman doesn't kill? He punched that first guy in the chest about 7 times with those giant.
Yeah, also,
in fact, they made a big point of it.
He
doesn't kill. He doesn't use guns.
When he shoots an arrow or he zaps somebody in the neck, he knows just enough not to kill him.
No, and that's a big canon of Batman. That's what the one thing I didn't like about Snyder's version, and I liked Affleck's version. I actually one of the few that really liked his version of Batman. I thought he was the best thing in those movies. He just killed with abandon. He didn't care. And Batman, because of what happened to his parents, that's his one thing. He will not kill. And they made a big point of that in this movie, and I like that. He might beat the crap out of you, and he might do some serious damage. But he's not going to. That's right. But he's not going to kill you. So I appreciated that.
I don't know because
that's comic canon.
I think in the first fight, he was definitely like making the bad guys shoot each other, but Isn't that kind
Yeah,
of
but he pummeled that one guy on the ground about 12 times in the chest.
I
mean,
love that. It was so brutal.
Well, that's
and
what I
why
mean.
did he do that? He did that so he'd scare all the other guys.
Yeah,
I don't want
yeah.
you coming over here. And he still had to fight him.
And I like at the end of that scene, the guy that was getting attacked goes, "Don't hurt me." And it's like, oh, poor Batman's like, nobody likes me. Nobody. No wonder he's a reclusive rock star.
That's right out of the comic.
And
too.
it is different. He doesn't wear the eye black when he's Bruce Wayne.
No, but what do you mean he doesn't wear the eye black? No,
He takes
what
the
they
eye-
did was in the Bale movies and the Keaton movies, when he removed his mask, the black was gone.
Yeah.
At least in this movie, when he took the mask off, the black was there. So this was a conscious choice that Batman makes.
Yeah, there's scenes in the Michael Keaton one where in 1 second he's got the black, the
That's
next
right.
second it's gone. I mean,
that's Batman Returns. It's such a joke that he does that.
Right.
So I like that. I like that. I didn't like him walking around with the stuff running on his face.
I think,
you could have
like,
just wiped it off.
I mean, I think maybe like the reason he's so like when he's like, I guess as Bruce, he's so similar to Batman is because I mean, isn't it just like he's so used to being Batman at night that it's just bleeding into his.
I mean, that's
personal life,
an interesting take
his
because
reality,
as
I
he
mean.
said in the movie, he's Batman more than he is Bruce Wayne. So maybe the secret identity is Bruce Wayne and the real character is Batman.
isn't that what the Riddler says to him at the end in the prison?
Yeah,
He
but
goes,
that's never been. Batman's always been. Bruce Wayne is the real person. Batman is the character.
But this
he plays.
goes more along those comics you were talking about, year 1, year 2, and all that
Yes.
stuff, right? This is more like that. Yeah. And was the
Okay,
Riddler
so-
was the Riddler this serial killer like in those?
No, but he did in one of the. In fact, it was Hush. He was they go down one path with this villain named Hush, and it ends up that the Riddler's the one that's been manipulating everybody. But nothing like this. I mean, I like what they did because the Riddler. You know, if you think of Jim Carrey in the Batman.
I was about to say that.
Yeah, I mean, I liked him in it, but it was really, really silly.
Well, he was going
Or
off what Frank Gorshin did. I mean, that's all.
Frank
that's,
Gorshin
you know.
put the Riddler on the map.
I don't see the
actually.
Penguin again. They changed that now in Batman Returns. That's where the Penguin comes up, right?
Yes,
And that dude's
Tim
an
Burton.
actual penguin, right? I mean, he was an
Well,
orphan or
yeah,
something.
he's-
and-
It's his
Right.
nose is like messed up, so he's the penguin.
But in the later comics, he's got a limp. He's supposed to have a clubbed foot, and he's got a.
so he's a
beak
human,
up.
but he just walks
Yeah,
around like a penguin. So that's why. Okay.
That's right. And the one
Wow,
scene
so
they
when
did that.
Burgess Meredith is doing it, he's a real penguin, though, right?
Well, he's not a real penguin, but
Okay. He takes on the persona.
But what they
for the-
did do was that I really thought was funny. If you remember the scene where he was handcuffed and his feet were cuffed
Yeah, he started
together, and he
yeah.
started waddling like a penguin. So I thought
Well,
that
I
was
like
funny.
the line. My favorite line is this good cop or bad shit crazy cop?
I mean, listen, Colin Farrell to me, out of all the performances, and look, I think Robert Pattinson was serviceable as Batman. I think
serviceable.
I do. I think Christian Bale was a better Batman than. Robert Pattinson.
I
Now,
disagree.
That
That's so
doesn't
funny.
mean
Yeah.
that doesn't mean because Robert Pattinson's a lot younger than Christian Bale. Also,
Yeah.
it doesn't mean he can't grow into the part. It's just in this particular one, I found him a little too one note. I think it worked great as Batman. I don't think it worked so much for Bruce Wayne. And again, that's a choice the director made. So whatever. But like the performance that stood out for me, and I wish he was in a lot more, was Colin Farrell. It was just, for one thing, the movie is very serious. The whole movie, very little humor in the movie at all. So there's no relief other than Colin Farrell.
Most of the humor is
the
also
audience really reacted to it every time he gave out a one-liner because they were looking for a release. Because all the Batman movies, whether the Keaton, whether it's the ones after Keaton or the Nolan, there's still like Keith Ledger, as scary as he was funny. And there was some funny stuff that he did. There was none of that in this movie. And again, that was the tone of the movie. I understand why they did it. But it made his performance really, really stand out for me. And when I heard that they were going to do a series with him, I was like, do I really want to see a series that's not going to have Batman? It's going to be all the villains of Gotham. And then after seeing the movie, I'm like, okay, I could get on board with this thing because he was great.
Is he going to do it? Is he going to do it?
Yeah, he's going to do it.
Wow.
And Matt Reeves is going to be
Such a
involved
good
in
that
it
guy.
too.
That guy doesn't get enough credit. He's a good
Going
actor.
back to the Riddler, I really liked I liked him a lot. It was more Zodiac Killer. I like
It
that.
definitely
also.
was. That's what he was going for.
Yeah.
No, because he was like actually like he was crazy. Like he was crazy. It was also like his introduction.
Any crazier than Batman? I mean, that's the whole point. We'll get into the spoilers, but that's kind of what
that's what the Joker's point was too in The Dark Knight Rises. In The Dark Knight,
you created me.
I think the last scene though, when he's doing the interrogation, that's where Dano goes, cuckoo over the top, right?
Yeah.
But up until that point, it was a good but weird performance. I mean, it was weird.
The introduction of the Riddler was also like his. I guess his introduction was also really well played. I liked it a lot. It was really good.
You're talking about the opening scene.
Yeah, it was scary.
Yeah,
it worked.
Yeah, it was. That was an intense scene.
Yeah, at first.
I mean, this is not a kiddie movie either. This is not a kiddie movie. There's some intense stuff in this.
Although
movie.
It's PG-13, isn't it?
I know it is, but I mean, it's pretty. Although they don't really show a lot.
No, they imply like that first kill that the Riddler does. I mean, he takes that.
They imply
that hammer.
But overall, I really like this movie, and I think if you're a Batman fan, you're going to like this movie. If you're a fan of the graphic novels, you're going to love this movie. My complaints, you've already heard them. Way too dark. In the score, I really liked the score. My only problem was because the movie was so long, after a while, I was sick of hearing those 5 notes. Dun, 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 dun.
Right.
But up until that point, I really liked it. It was tense. I thought it fit the tone of the movie really, really well. I mean, there was no like giant hero theme. Like the Tim Burton, Danny Elfman Batman score is fantastic, right? Nothing like that. I mean, you talked about being grounded in reality, and I thought the Nolan films did a good job at that. This really did a great job of if Batman existed in this world, this is what it would be. Because even the Batmobiles, you're not going to get a tumbler as a Batmobile, right? You're going to get a muscle car like this guy has that you might be armor plated and all this other stuff, but it's just a muscle car, right? A souped up muscle car. So I like that too. It was too long. I didn't like the ending that they tacked on. I think if, like I said earlier, if they ended it with about 40 minutes left, I think it would have been a much better movie. I liked the chemistry between him and Selena Kyle, Catwoman. I think that worked. Overall, I thought the performances were really good. Jeffrey Wright did a nice job. I thought he was funny. When the line he said, no guns. He goes, hey, that's your thing. Yeah. And he still goes in with the gun. I like that. So overall, I did enjoy this picture. I will say this, and I know I've said this a million times with you, Ralph. Spider-Man No Way Home was a better movie than this. I enjoyed it much more than this movie. I gave this one a 7. So that's pretty high up there.
Are you going to do a review? You're going to do a review of this one?
No, but I'm just saying, I'm just letting people know. I gave Spider-Man a 9 because I thought it was great. It was, and it was so opposite of this one. Did you see it, Raph?
Yeah.
With the colors, I mean, it's so much brighter.
I liked Spider-Man No Way Home. I like this one. I mean, this one was good. I like this. Batman.
I like this also. Okay. So
again, well, Rafael also probably, the thing about Spider-Man is all the people they brought back.
Yeah.
And
so I don't know how big
probably
a fan
wasn't
you were
around.
of the original Spider-Man show.
The Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, he's too young for that.
I'm not too young for the Tobey Maguire.
Really?
I watched.
No, but it wouldn't have been. It wouldn't.
I didn't grow up with it, obviously, but I still watched the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans. Right. I don't really accept Andrew Garfield as my Spider-Man. I didn't like those movies. I don't like him that much.
But he was great.
He was good in this one. But I don't.
And they're going to make another movie with him because the audience reaction to him in particular was so positive.
He was
they
good
want
in this
to bring
one,
him
but
back.
in the other
but anyway, I don't want to do a Spider-Man No Way Home review because it's about the Batman. But I'm just saying, from my standpoint, out of these 2 movies that just came out, and understand this, I had really high hopes for Batman. The Batman. I thought I was really looking forward to it when I saw the trailers. I liked it, but I did find myself like towards the end of the movie, I was like, oh, just get this over with. How many endings are we going to have? And that's not a good thing for a movie, right?
That's not good at all.
So that
and yet you still gave it a 7.
I did because, like I said, it was based on the graphic. For me, it was the closest thing to the graphic novels I've ever seen in a Batman movie. It was just really well done in that regard. Okay. So now let's, Ralph, you got to put up the little spoiler thing.
Just say from this point on, we're spoiling the movie.
I thought we spent a lot of money on that graphic.
No, that's not ready.
Don't our subscribers deserve that?
2, 1, spoilers.
Okay. Now we're going to talk about spoilers. Ralph, I'm going to start with you. So you tell me.
Here's what I'm going to spoil the thing that I like most about the film that I never got from the other films is the themes that this thing was going after. Like I mentioned earlier, the sins of the father.
Right.
And the fact that he's using his vengeance as a way to make himself feel better about his parents being killed the way they got killed. And he's realizing that that doesn't do anything. He's not beating up all these people, isn't helping him get over the fact that his parents died. And supposedly in the other canon, like arbitrary, it wasn't connected. Like now everybody's connecting even in the Keaton Batman, it's the Joker that kills them.
Right.
But in reality, it was a completely arbitrary thing.
It was Joe Chill.
That's right. So in this one, I kind of got that feeling like, okay, he can't make himself feel better by going. So what's he do it by the end of it? He decides that I'm going to start helping people.
Right.
So
it's
people,
not about vengeance.
When he grabs that one woman in the Madison Square Garden or whatever they called it, where she puts his arm and he doesn't pull away, and that scene that I'm talking about from above with the red and walking through the water is everybody following him out.
Yeah.
And it's his coming of age, like, okay,
I think
this can't be about my parents anymore because that hasn't helped me. I don't feel any better.
I think also it's I mean, he's leading them out of the darkness that usually is his place. So now he's coming out of the darkness and into the light.
Rafael,
which is like, I mean,
very good.
So,
yeah, you're absolutely right. Look, I mean, the turning point for him is when one of the Joker's henchmen, he pulled the mask off and he said, "What's your name?" And the guy said, "Vengeance."
That's what I mean. So
right then,
that's what
it was
he's
like
been saying.
That exactly. So that turned him around.
And the other thing I want to talk about, and you don't want to. I know that this is going to upset you, but it does feel very in the moment, in the sense that Catwoman says that line about white privileged guys running Gotham, and how the Riddler was able to use social media to get people revved up to go and start shooting people. And if that doesn't tell you that they're tapping into something or they're trying to say something, then I don't know what does. Because I had a January 6th vibe. Like I couldn't believe based on even the way they were shooting. Isn't that so funny
you said that? Because I had a BLM Antifa vibe.
Of course you did.
Because they used the same thing for the rioting and looting. I mean, so you're right. I don't disagree with that. So I mean, the way people use social media today. Now, my issue was, could you really get, let's say 20 of these people showed up and start picking off people like that? That seemed a little far-fetched for me, that because even when he was doing the broadcast, he was really talking like this, like, hey, thanks for following everybody. And from that,
if you remember, he only had 500 followers.
Exactly.
It wasn't that many.
That was,
one person with a gun like that could do a lot of damage.
Yeah, okay, one. Could 20? Right. You get 20 people to do that? I don't know. Start picking off innocent people.
So, I mean, there's that. And I, like I said, these walking out of this film, I had a way different understanding of the subtext than all the other films, the Batman films. So I think that's what I liked about it. It made me think a little bit more than I normally do when I go see these, especially Marvel films.
Right.
That's just when I talk about porn, that's superhero porn, right?
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree.
These Batman, at least there's like even the Dark Knight, there's a theme there. There's a reason that they're having that guy do what he's doing. And the fact that Paul Dano has that final thing where he says, I thought I wasn't giving you riddles. I was telling you what to do because I thought we're on the same team.
Right.
And Batman's like, what? And he starts slamming. What are you talking about? Well, he wasn't wrong. They were doing the same thing. Everything that Riddler was trying to do, Batman helped him with. I want to get Falcone out in the light.
Get him into the light.
Get him in the light. Everything he asked to do, Batman did. So they were on the same team, and I liked it. That's what made him flip out.
I like that scene where he said, Bruce Wayne.
And you think he's calling him out, and he's not, right?
Robert Pattinson's in profile like he knows, and he's on camera. And then when he ends up saying, I'm going to go after him, all of a sudden he realizes he doesn't know.
It was great.
I thought that scene was a good scene.
Yeah.
Raph, anything spoiler-wise that you want to talk about?
I mean, this isn't really like a spoiler-wise thing, but also I just like go back to his armor. I don't really like that he uses armor as like a. I mean, he was kind of invincible, like.
But he's getting shot. What's he gonna do?
I understand he's getting shot, but
in the comics, he's got body armor, right? Yeah. He's had that. I mean, not always. I mean, that was a 70s thing, but it explains why if he gets shot, he's not going to die.
Well, no, I understand that, but
what you're right though. What I did not like was I want to know what kind of armor will protect
He's
you
just
from
walking
just
through.
about
You just-
anything.
Yeah.
I mean, they had bolt action rifles that they were shooting at him from 5 feet away.
Why isn't anybody just shooting him in the face? I don't understand.
That's
that.
what I'm saying.
Well,
His face is all exposed, right?
I think someone said that too. Well, they shot him in the head, but that cowl's bulletproof too. But you're right.
His
It
chin's
almost
wide open.
It was like, and they're using machine guns. I mean, he took some punishment, but then he injected himself.
Oh,
with,
I was just gonna say that I loved.
do you know what it was?
What the
it was what Bane
adrenaline
uses,
shot?
right? It's
It
what Bane
wasn't
uses.
adrenaline.
What is
It's
it?
I forget what it's called, but it's whatever Bane uses to.
Venom.
It was Venom. Oh,
Venom.
okay, yeah. Yeah.
Venom, which and there's a karmic arc where a young girl dies. He couldn't save her, so he starts taking venom to be stronger, and he gets addicted to it, and then has to get off.
But that's
it.
different Venom than the other Venom thing, right? Than the
It's
Spider-Man
Venom. Venom is Bane. Bane
Okay,
from
that's
the
a different-
third movie.
okay.
In the comics, he injects himself with
Okay.
venom.
I just thought
to
that was
get through.
adrenaline, and I loved that a little
No.
port opens up and he
Same
sticks
thing.
it in his leg.
Same
and
thing.
Whoa!
But
He
I did
goes-
like that. I thought that was clever. I mean, there's a lot of Easter eggs.
How'd you
but
like
they're not-
Alfred?
They're not. Alfred was. I thought Michael Caine was a much better.
Yeah, I was just
Alfred,
about to say, like,
because he's more of a. I mean, there was, although in the hospital they connected, right? Up until that point, he was kind of, to use Raph's word, he was kind of a dick to Alfred.
Well, he
I
was,
didn't
but
like
wasn't
that.
Alfred also supposed to be like this in this iteration, like some kind of ex-military dude? Or something?
MI6? Yeah, he's ex-MI6.
Yeah, but then this package comes in, and the first thing he pulls out is fireproof.
Okay,
And
you
it's
want
not
to
even
start
addressed
talking
to
about?
him.
Wait. You want to start talking about bombs? The guy's got a bomb on his neck. Batman
Oh, I
gets
love that
close
scene.
up to it
Yeah.
with 3 seconds left and just stays there. Okay.
Well, it's the armor
Now,
again. But again, his
I'm
chin
not a
didn't get blown.
detective, but I would know to get the hell away from that thing.
I don't-
I thought that was a great
stupid.
scene. I liked the
It was a
riddles
great
he was
scene,
doing.
but that was stupid.
And what's his name? Sarsgaard was great when he's when even in that scene where he's the second riddle was about how much money he took or something.
Yeah.
And he specifically said he didn't specifically say he needed this name. And it's like even in that heat of the moment, the guy's
Yeah.
still a DA
He's
on the
trying to
take.
cover his ass.
It's just-
Well,
it's
because
so good.
I mean, by the third riddle, he said he like it doesn't matter either way. He's a dead man. So
That's right.
he,
And
he-
the other thing, they retconned a lot of Batman canon. Like the parents, what happened to the parents? Martha went. So this is something that was never in the comics. They connected the Waynes to Arkham Asylum.
Everybody's connected. Catwoman's
Right.
father's Falcone or whatever his name is.
Right. Well, that happened in the comics.
It does.
Yeah. But that didn't. I mean, that doesn't really bother me because it worked for the story. But I want to talk about the ending. He goes back to that apartment and uses that carpet tool and pulls the thing up and sees all the vans all around the city. All of a sudden, they're going to blow up the seawall that's never been referred to once in the movie. They've never talked about that the city is surrounded by a seawall. And so for that scene to happen, and how did he do it? Did his flunkies do it? It just came out of left field. And it felt like the studio said, like the Marvel movies, every Marvel movie ends with some beam going up into space,
Yeah.
They go, we need a big action, because there wasn't a lot of action in the movie. There wasn't. There's some great action scenes, but there wasn't a lot of action. So we need some big thing at the end.
The scene-
No,
oh my bad. Sorry.
what were you gonna say?
The scene does kind of come out of nowhere, but I do like it because he's like, when he's like dictating it, he's going like, and then it's like, da-da-da, and then it's, I don't know. It works really well, like I guess how they played it, but it was out of nowhere.
And that's what I didn't like about it, because it felt so tacked on.
But why
And
did
then
he have it under the rug in the first place? What's the point of that? I mean, and
Well,
again,
because there was another riddle.
Was that the line that the guy said that made him look at
Yeah.
the? Because my dad
Yeah.
was a carpet. My dad
That's
worked
right,
carpet.
because I don't think they knew it was a carpet tool.
Yeah.
Right. So, but that's what I mean. It's not kismet, but it's serendipity that guy says that line, the world's greatest detective. Right. And then he figures it out. I just felt like again, what Ralph said, it just was completely out of left field where it didn't need to be there. I think if they ended it with the interrogation where Riddler realizes they're not on the same page, I think that would have been a much better ending. And then the scene at the end with the Riddler and the Joker.
Yeah.
I thought that was, I don't know why they feel the Joker has to be part of every Batman movie when there's so many great Batman villains out there.
Yeah, Rafael,
And
do your ice
frankly-
impression. Do your ice
What was that?
impression.
What?
I'm gonna do
Iceman.
my.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
come
do
on.
my. No,
Come on.
Iceman? What are you talking
he
about?
wants me to do my. What's it called? Mr. Ice impression.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mr.
Schwarzenegger.
Freeze?
Yeah, Mr.
Yeah,
Freeze.
Mr. Freeze. That's his name.
What, from Arnold Schwarzenegger?
I said it literally like 30 minutes ago or whatever earlier.
I want to hear it. What? Give me a line.
God. I don't know. He was just like, "Ice to meet you," and then he says it. Like,
Nice to meet you. Yeah.
I don't know how.
Yeah. So Joker. Yeah, they always get a squeeze at Joker and everything.
I know, but I
Suicide
don't think
Squad.
it was-
Everything.
you created a great villain in the Riddler, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We all say that he did a nice job.
Great
and
job.
then you got to throw the Joker in there.
Jared Leto's
where,
Joker.
Again, the one thing I don't like, and they did it. Although I loved Heath Ledger, don't misunderstand me. Brilliant, right? Brilliant performance. Batman created the Joker, and that's been the comics forever. And in both in the Nolan version and in this version, Batman didn't do that. So that automatically changes the dynamic of the two characters, right? So I didn't
Wait.
that.
Why do you say in this version and the Nolan version, Batman didn't create the Joker? Doesn't the Joker
Because-
say, "Without you, I wouldn't"? There'd be no me?
No. The Joker says no. What he means is he wouldn't exist because he wouldn't be doing the things he's doing
If there were no Batman.
That's right. But the Joker was created, white face, big grin on his face. Batman did that. Well, Batman didn't do it. He fell in a vat, but Batman was involved with that. So in this version, it's a young Joker. In fact, the Joker is the one who says, "Riddle me this," which is the Riddler's line. So I think that's a tacked on thing that the studio said, we got to have Joker in here. And maybe in the next movie, they'll team him up. My only complaint about that is one of the strengths of Batman, like even compared to Superman, is the villains. The rogues gallery of villains is the best in all of comics. And they've only touched upon a few. And I get why the Joker's, like Lex Luthor with Superman, it's the number one. But it wasn't necessary. They didn't really show you anything. They showed you a little profile of him and not much else. Now I saw a picture of the guy from the Eternals, and it actually looked pretty good. But again, I just felt it was tacked on and unnecessary. And I'm trying to think of what else.
Is the little orphan going to become Robin?
Which orphan?
The little orphan boy that went to the funeral, the mayor's son.
Oh, isn't that interesting?
The one he
Well,
saved.
the rumor is that in that first scene where they beat everyone up, right? And the only kid that wasn't fully made
kid with
up
the
was
half-white
the
hat,
black kid.
Yeah.
Half black, half white. And he was the one that was hesitant. He didn't really want to get involved, and Batman let him go at the end. They're saying that in the comics, there was a Black Robin named, in one of the iterations, Tim Drake. So they're saying that kid could end up being Robin. I don't know. I kind of find
They made
it
a big
hard
play on that orphan kid. That kid was
well. That's interesting. I mean, I mean, you
think-
could be right. I just don't know. In this grounded reality, if you could have Robin was 13 years old in the comics, right? Could you have a little kid playing Robin in this world? I don't think so. And I don't mean you're laughing. I don't mean anything dirty. I'm just saying that in a real world like this, he wouldn't want a little kid running around with him, no matter how much he trained. I kind of find that hard to believe that they would do that.
I mean, first of all, I feel like he focused on the kid in the first scene, right? I mean, because kids.
Well, he did every time he saw the kid because he saw himself in the kid.
Yeah, and then he saves him because
Yeah.
it doesn't even it just shows that without the suit, he's still he's not wearing the suit just for vengeance, obviously, because that shows his good conscious side. Because he does save the kid when the car crashes through the.
Well, he's an
funeral home.
orphan. He was an orphan.
Well,
Oh, yeah. I mean,
I do like that.
Orphan
I
or
do
not, I
like.
feel like he would save the person that was. In
I
front
do
of
like the
a speeding
Riddler.
car.
The thing I loved when the Riddler said, "Look, everybody was worried about Bruce Wayne, the orphan. Bruce Wayne, multimillionaire, living in a beautiful home, and everybody's worried about you.
Right.
And here it is, an orphanage that's a whole reclamation or whatever the whole reason is. What was the law?
I can't remember
the
the name
charity
of it.
reform or
what you're talking
something.
about.
I forget.
Revelation or something.
The renewal, right?
Renewal.
Yeah.
And he
Oh,
was
right, Raph,
he was
you
an
paid
accountant
attention.
for the Renewal. That's
Yeah.
where the Riddler
Right.
came from. But that line about, everybody's crying about Bruce Wayne, the orphan, and here we have a whole a house full of orphans, and many little babies from the orphanage die in the winter because there's no heat.
Right.
And it just kind of, I don't get those in those other films.
Right.
And I find this one, and it may be the darkness, tonal darkness, the fact that it's most like Zodiac, and I'm a big Fincher Zodiac fan, and I just bought into it. But I got way more undercurrent in this one that made me satisfied than all the other stuff that they always pile on top, which is the Tumblr and all that cool stuff
Yeah.
that looks great. I'm not getting, listen, I love
Yeah.
those scenes. But this one I just felt had a little more depth, and I appreciate that.
Well,
And
it
makes
was
me-
like
it
it
makes
was like
me
a
interested
film
for the
noir
next one.
too.
Yeah.
The first half was a film noir. It really was, right? It was a detective story.
Hearing the breath of the Riddler
yeah.
while you're looking through his glasses, and he's
well, that
scoping out.
scene that Ralph, you talked about when the guy's in his house and
Yeah.
he moves
Oh.
forward a little bit, all of a sudden you see the eyes first.
Oh my God, it's so good.
What a great! I mean, and and you could hear a gasp I saw it with a full house, and you heard a gasp.
Yeah.
Because people just weren't expecting that. So again, I thought I'll say this as a huge Batman fan, and Batman fans out there, you already know this, but the best version of Batman, the best version
It's
of
cartoon,
Batman,
right?
is Batman the Animated Series.
Okay.
It's phenomenal. You want to talk about depth, you want to talk about character arc, and Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman, is unbelievable, and he's been doing it. That show came out in the early 80s. He's still doing the voice, but it is the best version of Batman. It really is, and I'm not just saying that. I know people say it's a cartoon. It's not. It's got great stories. It's got a lot of heart. In fact, the Mr. Freeze episode of that completely transformed that character into some, like you did, Raph, ice puns, and turned it into something really interesting that I hope someday somebody does in one of these movies, because it's a really interesting character arc. But I recommend that highly. But yeah, I think if you're a superhero fan, if you're a Marvel fan, I don't think you're going to like this movie, because it's so different from the Marvel universe. And I say that my biggest problem with the Snyderverse, it just took itself way too seriously, and it had no fun in it at all. And believe me, I'm not talking about Marvel, beginning and end jokes and fun. I don't need that. But dark, too dark all the time, I don't like. This movie, it was appropriate for the tone of the movie and for the Batman of year two. So that didn't bother me. I mean, the film being literally dark bothered me, but the tone didn't bother me at all. I actually liked it. It was very much true to early Batman.
Yeah.
So I think you'll like this. And Ralph, did you go with anybody else?
Did I go with
With
anybody
friends?
else? Yeah,
Yeah.
I went with one of my friends.
Did they like it?
Yeah, they liked it.
And they're your age, right?
Yeah,
So they liked it.
yeah.
No
And
one thought it was too
Raphael,
long.
have you ever seen the Batman TV show that we watched as kids? Have you ever seen those?
No, I have not. I have not.
I may have to.
I'll tell you, for the time, it was fantastic. It was very tongue in cheek, bright colors. It was like a comic book.
Yeah.
And in fact, that's why the '89 version, they had a really tough time getting that film off the ground, because people couldn't get the Adam West Batman out of their heads.
Right.
So they wanted it to be funny. And frankly, '89 had a big impact on Batman in the comics. And from that movie came the animated series.
Yeah.
So Batman went a lot darker than it had been in a long time.
Yeah, that movie really set that movie
It
changed
did.
a lot of things. It's like what Superman
and the
did,
set
but
design by Anton Furst, the costume, the music, not the Prince stuff.
I
which
do
was
miss the nipples on the batsuit, though. I have
Well,
to admit
that's-
that.
Oh yeah. I
Joel
know about that.
Schumacher. And
Yeah,
the
you
cod
do?
piece, too.
That
I
one you
about
know?
that. Yeah, I know
Yeah,
about
the
that.
cod piece. Actually, I liked Batman Forever. I liked Val Kilmer. I did not like, no one liked Batman and Robin because it was awful, but George Clooney wasn't good. That movie was terrible. But Batman Forever actually wasn't that bad, and it was a huge hit. I mean, people rag on it now, but it was a huge hit. I would like to see Val Kilmer do another one, but Schumacher did not like working with him. It's just so funny, the contrast in especially the Schumacher versions, and then you look at the Nolan versions, and now you look at this version, same character, but such different movies in tone. And again, to your point, Ralph, this had a lot more depth to character motivation than any of the other movies.
Oh, that's what I mean. That's what I enjoyed about it.
No, you're right. I mean,
that scene that Dano does in the hospital through the glass.
In Arkham.
Okay, is that the hospital Arkham?
Yeah.
The mental institution.
Yeah. Well, we don't like to say that because
what do we call it now?
Appropriate. Hospitals for the mentally challenged.
The Yahoo Hospital, the Hoo room. Okay, I'm sorry.
Before.
I don't mean to.
It's
joke
okay.
About that,
it's fine.
No, that scene I found it very satisfying, and it took away some of the frustration I had with the darkness, literal filming darkness of the film, and just too much rain and stuff like that. But that's fine. You know, Matt Reeves, you kind of go, okay, this guy seems to know what he's doing. I'm gonna give him a shot. And I think,
where is Gotham located that it always rains? I mean, is it Seattle?
Same place Seven was. Who knows? It rains all the time. Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, good film. Good film. I don't know if a 7 out of 10 you gave it.
Yeah.
I'd probably go 6 out of 10.
Okay, Raph?
6. 7.5, maybe 8. You know,
7.5, maybe 8.
I mean, I enjoyed the movie. Like I
All right, wait.
it.
Do you like the Marvel movies?
I do like the Marvel movies.
What's your favorite?
What's my favorite Marvel movie?
Well, don't repeat what I said, please.
Oh, my bad. That's a tough one. I mean, I like the new Spider-Man a lot, so.
Okay, what would you rate that?
Like a 9 out of 10. I mean, it was good. It was satisfying.
Okay, my favorite Marvel movie, and it has not changed, Captain America: Winter Soldier.
That was a good one.
Where would you rate that?
Probably like a 9 out of 10. That was good.
Okay,
also,
that's okay. I just need a little reference point.
Yeah.
Now I know you know what you're
I like the
talking
original Captain Marvel from the 70s or whatever that was, 80s, whenever that happened.
Captain Marvel
not
in
Captain
the
Marvel.
80s?
No, Captain America,
Captain America?
that one.
Oh, you mean
with Reb Brown?
The first
Not Red
Avenger?
Brown.
the
It's the one
plastic shield?
the author's son played.
No, you're talking about J.D. Salinger.
Yeah,
Matt Salinger.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That one.
With Warren Beatty.
Yeah. It's awesome.
That was and the Red Skull, instead of a German, they made him Italian.
Oh, that makes sense. All right, enough with all the canon. Jeez. All
Well,
right. Should we do a little what we call Rafael? Can you stay for a couple more minutes? Do you have any homework you got to do? Anything?
I mean, yeah, but I think
Okay.
It'll be quick. All right, Ralph, light it up. It's time for a little stream quest.
Here it comes. Okay.
That is hot.
So, Rafael, what we do is we just talk about something that we've either streamed, some movie, or just one quick thing you want to talk about, maybe recommend to people.
like
Something
recently.
you're streaming currently.
Yeah, so anything you've watched recently that you would recommend? Other than a movie like Batman, we just know that. But
Oh, okay. Yeah. I watched like the new Scream movie just came out. Like
Scream?
Scream, yeah.
Scream
It was,
2022?
yeah, January 12th, I think. January 14th, one of those days.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot. I mean, I think it had some. I mean, it's not the
Wait,
original
now
movie.
did you see now if I haven't seen the movie, but don't they have a lot of the cast from the original Scream?
Yeah, they do. That's yeah.
Okay, now
It's
did
the
you
most-
see the
I
original
saw it.
Scream?
I did. I've seen. I've seen.
You
all the
saw this
Screams.
Scream that he's talking about?
I saw the
seen-
new Scream.
I've seen all of them.
And now I have not seen all the Screams. I saw Scream 1, Scream 2, and then I stopped. And this one is the most meta movie I've ever seen in my life.
What does that mean,
Yeah.
meta?
It references back on itself and everything that
wow.
happened in the first movie a ton.
That's-
Now, not in a negative way. I'm not saying
Okay.
that to be negative.
If you,
It's a little clunky. There's some like
Wait a minute, Ralph. I want to hear from you. What? Tell me about it. What do you think?
I mean, he's right though. If you like gory movies, though, I liked it. It was gory. It had some.
it was
good,
way
like,
gorier than the first one, actually.
it
Yeah.
had
Really?
Some, yeah.
Yeah.
It had some good kills. But there are some
Yep.
It
parts
had
where
some
it's
good kills.
There are some. I mean, it did. There are some parts where it's just like you don't need that like part of the movie. You got to watch it, to see.
Yeah.
It's a good movie though. I like it a lot. I mean,
How did you
obviously,
like the original cast in it? How were they in it?
the original cast? They played
Yeah.
it well. Sydney. She was played well. She actually looks like very similar to like I mean,
She's
she was
aged
good.
well.
Yeah.
Sydney
Who is
Prescott, the main
Yeah.
woman. I forgot.
The
Cox.
first-
Nev Campbell.
Nev
Yeah, I
Campbell.
think-
Courtney
yeah.
Cox has had a little surgery done.
Well, she
Yeah.
got it. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then
So-
Yeah.
I don't know his name. The guy who plays Dewey. I liked him
Yeah.
a lot.
David
Arquette.
Arquette.
Yeah.
David Arquette.
Yeah, he played it well. They also brought back Billy for like a little like
Yeah. So yeah, it's
So,
what I
so
mean.
if
It's
you
very,
like the Scream movies, you would recommend this movie.
I think if you like the Scream movies, you would like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Definitely.
it's a little like it's meta. It's meta. So
yeah,
it's a
I
little,
mean
like,
they
out there.
reference themselves way too many times.
Yeah.
But that's still it's still enjoyable, and it is way
And-
like he was saying, it's way
Well,
gorier than the first one. I mean, you're
it's
seeing
like-
some.
I mean, it's like a meta within a meta because it's kind of
Yeah.
The stab movies, which is like their version of Scream. So the
Right.
stab movies take place of what
A
happened.
movie within a movie.
Right.
It's like that. They
Yeah.
reference the stab movies and then they reference like their own movies. So it's like, yeah.
Yeah, it's all referential. The whole thing is just
Yeah.
up,
But
everything's
Ralph,
stacking on stuff.
you liked it.
Yes.
I didn't like. You're asking me or Ralph?
Yeah. I'm asking you, Ralph.
I didn't like it as much as the first movie, and it was fun to see these people come back. But I enjoyed it. I wouldn't say it's the greatest, but I see what they were doing, and it's fun. And I think they're going to do more of them. I think this is.
Did
not
you see
gonna
it in
stop.
the
Yeah.
theature, Ralph?
I did not see it.
Okay.
Now
Ralph,
let me ask
see
you
it?
this, Rafael. Did you watch it on your phone or on a TV?
I watched it on my phone. I was too
Oh
young to
my
see
God.
it.
Under
I
a
was too young-
blanket?
I was too young to see it when it came out in the theaters. I was
Oh.
16 at the time. I was not
Oh,
17.
darn it.
So- yeah,
Darn
because
it.
it's rated R.
Yeah, but it's on Prime or something. You can watch it. I have all these big TVs here.
You
and
watched the movie on your phone.
That's what
It was
they
like
do.
it was like 1 in the morning. It was a nice little 1 in the morning
That is
watch.
Gee,
so
no
lame.
wonder he's
That's
not
not a
getting up
way
for
to watch
school.
the
That's
movie.
crazy.
Don't you even have an iPad? Even an iPad would
No,
be
they
better.
don't. John, stop. Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Oh
I'm
my
pretty
God.
You
I
want
could
me
not
to
watch a
say or
movie
you
on a
say?
phone.
Who's next?
No, you. Go ahead.
I'm going to talk about it again but I'm recommending The Dropout, the Elizabeth Holmes
Ugh.
story about Theranos. I've seen all the documentaries.
Oh, you have seen him.
oh, yeah.
Great documentary on
Oh,
Netflix.
yeah, the one
I
Alex
saw.
Gibney did, the Bad Blood or whatever it was.
She
I don't think
is-
that's the
she
book is
is
called
like
Bad Blood.
A
Well,
sociopath.
and Amanda Seyfried, is that her name?
No,
Amanda
is it not
Seyfried. I'm sorry, Seyfried. She's doing a great job
Does
mimicking.
she do the voice?
So I've only seen the first 3. By the end of the third one, she starts doing I'm going to lower my voice so I sound more whatever. But she's got the tonal quality right. And her eyes, because the way Amanda's eyes are, it's very similar to
Yeah.
the other woman's unblinking big eyes. And they're doing a pretty good job. Now we're going to get, I've seen the first 3, and we're now going to get into more of when things really start, and the whistleblowers start coming out, and Schultz's grandson starts doing his thing. It's a good series. They're doing a good job.
I would say if you don't know about this, watch the documentary first because it
Yeah.
is
Alex
so
Gibney, the
good.
one Alex Gibney did.
Yeah, and she is she's a
It's amazing. She's super, you just look at the potential and you go, what the hell happened there?
You got to be smart to snow all those people.
Well, it's the same thing like you say in that Anna movie. That woman
Well, I'm
went
gonna
into
talk
New
about that
Okay,
anyway,
go ahead.
so-
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I was going to talk about Inventing Anna, which is a Netflix series about Anna Delphi, who was a 25, 26-year-old who built the elite of New York. And, she said she was a German heiress, and she's going to get a $60 million trust fund when she hits 25. And she got kicked out of hotels, like these super high-end hotels, because she didn't pay the bills. She screwed one of her friends out of $60,000. This went on forever. And at one point she was up for a $40 million loan that almost went through. I mean, to the point where she was pretending to be an accountant in Germany using a voice changer on her phone. So when these high-end New York bankers were calling this accountant, they're calling her, and she's saying, "Oh, we'll get that money to you soon." You just couldn't believe the stuff, and not all of it is true. In fact, every episode it says this is based on a true story, except for everything that's completely made up. And every episode starts that way
That gets
because
them
they
out of
obviously there's a lot of dramatic license.
Right.
But I've been watching, you always say go down the rabbit hole. I've been watching everything on YouTube about the real woman. And, 75% of it's absolutely true. I mean, they show the friends that she screwed, and it's like, how did she get away with this? It's just really interesting.
Yeah, people
Now,
will give money if they think they're going to get more money, and they'll just believe.
some of it, but you're talking about people with so much money that it's not like they were looking to get money. They weren't. They just bought into her.
Yeah.
and into their lives. But I've only got one episode left. In fact, I'm going to watch it tonight. My biggest complaint about it, like most Netflix series, it's 9 episodes. It should have been 7, maybe 6 even, because there's so much filler.
Yeah.
It just.
They're all
I mean, there were a
doing
couple.
that now.
There's a couple episodes.
Look,
I'm like,
I click on stuff, and if I see it's more than 2 episodes, I'm out. Like, especially if they're documentary type things, I don't want to see.
Yeah.
I don't need it. And if you look at Alex Gibney's doc he did, that hour and a half, it's amazing.
yeah.
And the stuff he did about Lance Armstrong, you go down the thing, you know why he does a
Yeah.
good job. But and talk about meta. That woman's in jail watching the show about her.
Yeah. You're talking about Anna.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she's not in jail now.
Oh, she's not. I
No.
heard. Oh.
But she's making so much money off of this because everyone wants to know who she is.
Yeah.
You know,
I saw it on Australian.
I don't know about you guys. This was in 2019. I never heard of this
Me
woman.
neither, but I
never
saw
heard of this
60 Minutes,
story.
Australia 60 Minutes thing.
Yeah.
She's like, you know.
But the
big
girl,
ball.
Julie Garner, I
Good
think her
actress.
name is.
She's pretty good.
She's perfect because she does the weirdest accent.
Yeah.
And when you hear the real woman, that was her accent.
Yeah.
Because the one thing they said, she's not a super attractive woman. So it wasn't like all these guys were just trying to,
It's just the
sleep with
allure
her.
of money. It's money. And
Yeah.
it's like,
And she
people
had him
fall for
snowed.
that.
She really had him believing that she was a German heiress. It's really
Raphael, are you
unbelievable.
tweeting all your friends? Tell them you're on this show now? Get some subscriptions?
I'm not right now. No. Do you want me
Raph,
to?
I need you to do me a favor.
Yeah.
I need you to tell all your friends to subscribe to the channel.
I got you.
Like it.
Even
and
if they don't watch
comment
it.
on it.
Yeah.
No, he'll watch it because he's in it, right?
Oh.
I mean, I told them I made it to the podcast. They asked me what it was about. And I told them
Yeah.
about the Batman.
So you still on Facebook or Instagram?
I'm not on Facebook. I'm on Instagram.
You're on Instagram?
I'm on Instagram.
Share it on Instagram, will you? We
Got
need some
you.
likes. You were great, man. You really were. You brought
Thank
up
you.
some good stuff that I
Thank
didn't
you.
even think of. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Well thought out.
Very
Now
nervous.
do your homework.
Well,
Yeah.
You were nervous, Ralph? Did he come across as nervous?
Not
didn't
at
get
all.
you
You were
nervous.
great. No, you were great.
No,
Very
I'd say
impressive.
get your hair cut. I mean, that's the
Very
only thing I
impressive.
say to you.
I can't
Look at
cut
that.
the.
Look at that.
No, do
George
not
Washington
touch-
thing.
do not-
Oh my God.
Do not
can't
touch
tell-
that
Oh my
hair.
God.
Keep it going.
I can't
No,
cut
that's
the,
awesome. If you're transitioning, I'm really happy for you. So anyway, I want to just say to everybody,
That is
I
not
really
cool.
appreciate the number of subscribers to our
Oh.
channel. It really has made a difference, and we appreciate it. We hope you like this review, and please leave a comment. I'd love to hear what you guys think about the Batman or anything we talked about tonight. Raph, we'll have you on again, man. You
Thank you.
did a really nice job. Seriously.
He should
So-
be our young, go out and see a movie.
Oh, here we
and
go.
talk about
Another
it.
one. First it was Dylan. Now it's going to be Ralph.
I know.
Let's
So you
just go
can't-
through the whole family,
Listen,
Ralph.
you can't rely on anybody.
No.
Dylan quit. What am I going to do? I
We
think
will bring Raph on.
Raphael will stick
I
with
can
it.
do it. I can do it.
Yeah. We'll bring you on every now and then. We're going to have rotating guests, but I would love to have you on again. So your insight was really, really good. I appreciate that.
Thank
You did
you.
a good job on it. So,
My host.
all right, Ralph, have a great week.
Thank you. You as well.
I don't know what we're going to do next week, but we'll figure it out.
Anything
And,
new coming out?
I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll take a look. Raph, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, no problem.
And everyone, have a great week, and we will talk to you soon. Take care, everybody. Wait. Oh, my God.
I'll put the cowl back on. Oh, my goodness. Where'd John go?
Goodbye, everyone.
Your chin is
Oh, I'll do
much.
Robert Pattinson.
Does he
Goodbye,
has-
everyone.
yeah. Okay. There you go.
Not with
Robert.
that face.
All right.
Not with that face.